Hello, welcome back to 14 Minesweeper variants. Yeah, okay, so we did and last episode, and I realized that the for every size the puzzles seem to keep repeating themselves. So unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but I do want to try and get through as many combinations of variants as possible. How and works is it really just adds E to one of these left side variants or L to one of these left side variants. And left side, right side variants. So it's E with one of the remaining 5 right side variants, or L with one of the remaining right side variants. Yeah. So far we've only managed to get through 3 total combinations out of 10 possible. Yeah, E with 5 and L with 5 makes 10 possible combinations. But each size appears to repeat the same combinations over and over again. So I think we'll just do size 5x5 or 5x10 according to this. Oof. Encrypted area. Alright, well, let's go, I guess. So encrypted basically means that every letter is decoded, or every letter is encrypted, every number is encrypted by a letter. So every letter has some number attached to it, and there is a one-to-one pairing, so every number is a letter and every letter is a number. Numbers count the same letter. Letters, different letters count the same number. So B and C can't both be 0 basically. And area means that numbers give the sum of the areas of mine regions touching it orthogonally. So 6 is a 4 plus 1 plus 1, 7 is a 5 plus 2, so on and so forth. Alright, let's do some stuff. Okay, so I can't even do regular Minesweeper. I wonder how this is gonna work. I think A has to be greater than D. And the reason why is that whatever D sees has to be stemming from this cell. So if you have a mine here, then D will be whatever the area of this region is. However, A is always going to be touching this A. And so A is going to be at least equal to this region. However, A will also be adding on any area that touches this, whatever it is. Either that or, like it could wrap around, but in either case, A will always be seeing whatever D sees. So A has to be at least as large as D, plus more perhaps. And well, because A can't be equal to D, we know it's a one-to-one pairing, A must in fact be at least one more. So firstly, what that means is that A can't be as low as 0, and that tells us that this must be a mine. Secondly, that tells us that, well, because this A only sees this area, it cannot see an area of 4. So A can't be 4. We know A also must be greater than D because A can't be equal to D. And so if A is a maximum of 3, D can really only be a maximum of 2 because A must be greater than D. So we can cancel out 3 and 4. Really? D can be 4? Oh no, that's E. I'm sorry. Yeah, no. A is still this, but D is the one that can be 3 or 4. There it is. Okay. Besides that, we can also see that this is a mine. And the reason why is because if this wasn't a mine, then whatever region that D saw, this A would also see, and that would cause A and D to be the same value, which is impossible. So this must be a mine. Now this can't be a mine. If it was, then we know this has an area of A, and this has an area of A, which means that this is not an area of A, but it is part of an area of A. And if A here sees it, then this A would see an area of A plus at least 2 more mines, which makes it not A, so that fails. So this can't be a mine. E. Okay. Alright, well, D, I don't know what D is. I think D is only 0 or 1 actually. Because if D was 2, then this D will have to see a region of 2. But then that will automatically push it to a region of 3. So D can't be 2. So D is either 0 or 1. If D was a 1, then A, well, firstly, this can't be a mine. But A still could be 3, because that could still be a mine. A could be 3, I guess B could be 2, maybe. And if D was 0, then this is just empty. But that doesn't dictate what A could be, so yes. Alright, what about E? Well, again, well, no. Is it? Could E be less than A? What? Like E can't be less than A, but I can't tell why. I mean, E sees whatever whatever area this is plus some area up top. But this isn't necessarily completely A. It could look something like this. Okay, so let's think about it. E, well, if this was just an area of A, if this area is just A, then E must be greater than that because E cannot be equal to A. E already sees A, so E can't be. E has to be greater than A. However, if E can be less than A, I think. Yes, if the E can only be less than A if this itself is less than A, and the only way to have this be less than A is to split them up. So A must see two different things, two different portions, each of which is less than A, which gives something that looks like this. Therefore, for E to be less than A, because this is only a region of 1, if E were to see one more, then it would already be equal to A, and any more that it sees would push it above A. So if you wanted E to be less than A, this would have to be empty. I mean, that's plausible, right? Well, I mean, from here we can prove that D is 1. E therefore can't be 1 and must expand, so E must be 2, because E can't be any bigger. A has to be 3, because we can see from this A. I think that fails B actually, because B now can't be, well, B has to be at least 2, but B can't be 2 or 3, because 2 and 3 are already taken up, and B can't be 4 either because there's not enough space. So in the case where E is less than A, that fails. So E has to be more than A, basically. I think that's how it works. And if E was more than A, then E firstly can't be 0. E also can't be 1 because A can't be 0. And that gives you these values. And also if E was more than A, then I think this has to be a mine. Because if it wasn't a mine, then this would have to be equal to A or less. And we know that E is not A or less, so E is more than A, which means that's a mine. Yeah. What else do we see? Well, whatever is here has a total area of E, right? Which will fulfill this mine as well. Because these two cells touch this E. So wherever you have mines in here, they will have a region total region size of E. Right. And this E also sees those cells. So whatever regions they form would also have area of E. Meaning this E can't form any other regions, and therefore this must be empty. Nice, okay. C. Or C is clearly 0 because C can't expand out anywhere. So C is 0. Now D only has one value, D must be 1. Which means this must expand out, but no further. A could be 2 or 3. But if A was 2 or 3, then this must expand, okay? E must be greater than A, we knew that. And so E is greater than A. Oh, B has to be 2, I see. Because if B can't be 0, because C is already 0? Yeah. So B has to expand out, and by expanding out, it gives you an exact area of 2. So B is 2, therefore A is 3, and E is 4. This area of 3 must expand. This area of 4 must expand because it only sees 3 so far. This area of 4 must expand, so this is a mine, it must expand, and therefore that's your entire puzzle. There you go. Okay, well, that was pretty tough for a 5x5, but what can we say? It's area. It's area. Alright, let's keep going. Hopefully it's not gonna be that bad. Liar plus cross. Alright, this one's a special one. Alright, liar plus cross. So all 3 clues here are correct. So how liar works, I haven't explained this video yet. Liar means that every row and every column has exactly one liar, and a liar is a clue that has a value of 1 or more than its actual shown value. So in the case of cross, it shows a 1, 3 here, but because it's a liar, one of its values is a liar, basically. So either the 1 lies or the 3 lies. In this case, the 3 lies and it's actually a 2. So you have 2 lights and 1 dark. Cross also just means that every clue gives you the number of lights and dark mines, but not necessarily in order. So this 3, 3 here means one of them is a lie. There's no real way to disambiguate here. One of the 3s means light, one of the 3s means dark. But one of them has to be incorrect, basically. So either this 3 is wrong or this 3 is wrong. Either way, that 3 will either be 4 or 2. And an interesting implication of cross is that the number here is actually giving you more information than required, because the number here is actually, if you sum these two numbers up, you get the total number of mines around it. And this also works for liar. This is actually a sum of 6, but because it's a liar, it is actually a 5 or a 7, and because it can't be a 7, it's a 5, so you have all 5 of these being mines. 2, 4 here similarly is a 6, which must either be a 5 or 7. It can't be 7, so it's 5, and all these 3 are mines. You can see here that 4 is a liar and must actually be a 3. Okay, so let's take a look at the lie. Alright, well, we have a lot of repeats here actually. Well, 0, 2 is definitely a lie. And the reason why is because none of these have two of each color. So the 2 must refer to either 2 lights or 2 darks, but nowhere in this region are there 2 lights and 2 darks, or 2 darks. So this must be a liar. Can I call it? I can call it. Wow, it just knows. Well, if this is a lie, then this must be telling the truth, and the 2 must therefore be referring to the darks because there aren't 2 light cells in here. So 2 darks and 0 light. This is telling the truth, and because there are no 2 light cells, it must be 2 dark and 0 light. This is telling the truth, which means that, well, because it is a total of 3 and there are 3 mines around it, all 3 of them are 2 mines. This 1, 2, well, it could be a liar, but we don't know which is a liar. It could also be telling the truth. So alright, this 1, 3. Oh no, so I think this 0, 2 that we need to look at. Yeah, this 0, 2 definitely has to be referring to the light mines because there aren't 2 dark mines in its region. So there you go. 2, 3 could be a liar, or 1, 3 could be a liar. Now suppose 2, 3 was a liar. Its total is 5. Therefore, if it's a liar, its actual value must be 4 or 6. It can't be 6 because there aren't that many cells around it, so it must be a 4. If it were a liar, it's a 4. And if it were a liar, I think either works actually. It could be a 1, 3 or it could be a 2, 2. Yeah, both work. But if it were a liar, then you'd have 1 mine here, no matter what. I guess that does fulfill this. And if it were a liar, the only way to fulfill this is to have, 3 darks and 1 light. So if it were a liar, this is the only way it's filled. But if it were telling the truth, then both of these are filled. So I guess in both cases, this is a mine. Okay, fair enough. Therefore, this must be a liar because it has a value of 3, but there are 4 mines around it. So this is a liar, which means that because it already has 4 around it, it can't have any more, so none of those are mines. 0, 1. Well, I don't know if it's telling the truth or not. If this was a mine, would this be lying? Yes, it would be a 2, 3, which is a liar and therefore valid. 1, 3. If 1, 3 was telling the truth, you get something that looks like this. And that fails because now column C has no liar. We know that for liar, every row and column has a liar, but in column C, in this case, there is no liar because mines are not liar and this is telling the truth. So this must be a liar then. Alright. Which means that it is not in fact 1, 3. It could be 0, 3 or it could be 1, 2. It can't be like a 5 total because there aren't enough cells around it. But we don't know yet. We just know that there are 2 mines here. That's all we know. Oh, well, that is very helpful because there are 2 mines here and the actual remaining mine count is a 2. So what that means is that the 2 mines remaining in this board are all in these 2 cells. So none of these are mines. We know that that's telling the truth because the lie is already in the row. And if that's a 0, 1 and 1 of these are mines, because we know there are 2 mines in this 3 cell region, this one has to be a mine as well. Now that tells us that this 2, 3 is telling the truth. So 1, 3 is the liar. And therefore the final liar in this grid is here. 0, 1 is telling the truth, so there's no mine there, and therefore to finish the puzzle, the last mine is here. Nice, okay. Well, this one wasn't so bad. I guess it's just area, honestly. Okay, deviation and encrypted. We haven't done this. Deviation refers to, or each clue refers to the 3x3 area above it and not around it. I keep saying that. So you can sort of imagine it as like a hidden wall here. So like this grid border, you can imagine shifting it up. So this C experiences a grid border here, say for this B. But that does give you some very interesting patterns here. Firstly, we know that, let's draw an imaginary grid here. This E sees all these cells, but this E only sees these 2 cells. They're the same value, and therefore whatever this cell sees, whatever this E sees in these 2 cells, will be the same as whatever this E sees in these 2 cells. Therefore, there cannot be any mines here, otherwise the values would be different, and so none of these are mines, regardless of whatever the value E is. Another thing about cryptid is because E only sees 2 cells total, it cannot have 3 mines around it. So E cannot be 3 or higher. D also only sees 1. And so what that means is that D can't be 2 or higher. Another thing we know is that because D is, I guess, a subset of E, we can say that E must be greater than D, because E can't be equal to D, and E can't be less than D either, because E sees whatever D sees plus some extra. So E must be greater than D, and we know even more actually, because E must be 1 more than D. E can't be 2 more than D, because there aren't enough spaces to put 2 mines in here, and you know, E can't be equal to or less than D, so E must in fact be exactly 1 more than D. And that therefore tells us firstly that there is a mine here, also tells us that E is not 0. Okay, A. Well, A is not 0 because it already sees a mine, but because A only sees 2 cells total, it cannot have more than 2. That gives us a pair over here. B and C are the only values that can be 3 or 4, and so they must be 3 or 4. Therefore, B and C can't be 0, 1, or 2. Now, this B, yes, this B tells us that in this 3x3 area, there are either 3 or 4 mines, or there are no 4 spaces, so there are clearly not 4 mines here. B is therefore a 3. C is therefore 4, and B being 3 means that all these 3 are mines. Yep, okay. Oh, I guess in this row you can see here nothing else can be 0 except for D, so D is 0. A and E are unconfirmed yet, but I think we can resolve that right now. 0 here means there's no mine here, and so E must just be a 1, therefore A is 2. A being 2 means that's a mine, that will complete this 3, that also completes this 4. 3 here means that must be a mine, and 4 here, well, these 4 and this 3 work together, because for the 4, even if you place as many mines outside of 3's range as possible, you have to put at least 1 mine in here, and that will complete 3 no matter what. Therefore, there is no mine here, and there must be 2 mines here. 3 here, well, we can use remaining mine count, right? There's 2 mines remaining, and because of this 3, we know that one of these are mines. Therefore, the other remaining mine in the grid must be here, otherwise you'd have too many mines for this 3. So that's a mine, that will finish the 4, that finishes this 3, and that solves the puzzle. Cool. Okay, nice. Yeah, I'm dreading this. Alright, let's go. Product and liar. Alright, product is a very intricate rule set. Product indicates the product of distances to the nearest 2 mines. So for a clue, take the closest 2 mines, multiply the distances from it, their actual like Pythagorean distance from it, like straight line distance from it, and then that's your clue number. So this root 10, for example, can I call it? I can call it, but I do want to focus more on why I can call it. This root 10, for example, must be a product of 2 distances, and those 2 distances are either 1 times root 10 or root 2 times root 5, and I think that's it. You only have 2 options. Now, interestingly, this will always eliminate a distance of 2. Why? Well, because, take a look at the 1 times 10, this value is more than 2. And that means that if there were mines a distance of 2 away, this clue would count the 2 instead of this root 10 distance away. And so if this was the case, then mines distance of 2 away cannot show up. Otherwise, this clue would count that. Similarly here, root 5 is more than root 2, because root 5 is more than root 4, and therefore root 5 is more than 2. That also means that if there were any mines 2 distance away, this root 10 would count it, and therefore that's not possible. So there are never going to be mines that are distance of 2 away, and therefore that is why we can call and say that none of these mines that are distance of 2 away are there. Now, another interesting thing is that the liar clue is there, and though one of these are, liars, but it is quite clear that this cannot be a liar, because if it were a liar, then its values are either, I'll make this more consistent, root 10 plus 1 or root 10 minus 1. But these just can't be products, basically. There is no way to have 2 distances multiplied to this sort of sum, and therefore there is no way this can be a liar. Similarly for root 2, you either have root 2 plus 1 or root 2 minus 1, which also can't be products of distances, so root 2 here also can't be a liar. Okay, now root 2 is a lot simpler to work with. Root 2 is just a 1 times root 2, there is no other way to product it. Now, however, I do want to think about how root 10 works, because root 10, if it were 1 times root 10, then this root 10 is actually equal to 1 squared plus 3 squared. And so this root 10 will calculate a distance of sort of this long Knight's move. And because this root 10 is greater than root 5, it almost essentially eliminates root 5 distances. So it eliminates your Knight's moves away because those are root 5 distances. It also eliminates your root 2 distances away. It also eliminates your distance 3 away. And that's because all of these values are less than root 10. I also limit this because this distance is root 8, in case you didn't know. This is root 8, this is root 3. And so if this were true, then this happens. And I think something really weird is going on here. This is technically valid, but under very specific conditions. One of which is that this must be a mine. Because if it weren't, then this root 2 can never satisfy its 1 by root 2. Because there is nothing that's 1 away. So this must be a mine. Now that this is a mine, these two are non-mines, because if they were mines, then this root 10 would just count 1 distance away, and it wouldn't be a root 10. Now this is useful, because now let's consider the second option, root 2 times root 5. Well, we already know that root 2 is more than 1. So root 2 is more than 1, meaning that anything a distance of 1 away just can't be mines. So in either option, these two cells here touching the root 10 vertically, those are not mines. And I suppose we can therefore do this. There it is. Okay, I just got a Steve achievement for finding an overcomplicated irrational number. I'll just clear out everything for you to see. Yeah, that's a 1 by 2 root 5, which clearly cannot be a non-liar. It has to be a liar because no product can be that kind of number. So that's a liar. Now this 2 is wrong, which is helpful because this 2 could have been a lie. It could have been a 1. 1 is actually valid. I mean, in this case, 1 would not be valid because 1 requires 2 mines the distance of 1 away. That's not possible here. But this 2 could have been a liar if, if there weren't any other restrictions. But this has to be a liar. And because it's a liar, we know its value has to be 2 root 5. And the reason why is, well, it's simply because this 1 plus thing here, it just has to be not part of it. If you added another 1, you get 2 plus 2 root 5, which itself also can't be a product of anything. So it must be taking away 1, which gives you 2 root 5. I think 2 root 5 has a few options as well. It's either 1 times root 20, I think. Which, root 20 is actually possible, I think. Root 20 is a root 4 square plus root 2 square. So like a distance of like this. But that kind of also implies that everything inside that range is, not really valid. And that clearly doesn't work because you have like how many, 10 mines total? And this just cancels out too many squares. So we can sort of, by intuition, just eliminate 1 by root 20 as an option. Your other option is, well, the very trivial looking 2 times root 5, which probably makes a lot more sense. And I don't think there's any other way to have a product equal to root 5. 2 root 5 is pretty interesting though because it does eliminate any of the 1 and root 2's away. So anything that's 1 away isn't a mine, anything that's root 2 away isn't a mine. Oh, that's another liar. That's another liar. There it is. Alright. Well, this one root 2 is just a root 2. And this root 2, well, we know root 2 is a 1 times root 2. And therefore, this must see something that's 1 away. And the only thing that's 1 away is here. So that's a mine. Now this 2, seeing a 1, can't be a 1 times root 2 anymore. So this can't be a mine. It must therefore be a 1 times 2. Which it has a couple options. This root 2, because it's a 1 plus root 2 is a liar, must see something that's 1 away. That's root 2 away, which are one of these cells. And that would always fulfill this root 2, because the root 2 needs to see something 1 away. The root 2 can't see 2 things that are 1 away though. So if you had a mine here, it would see something from here, plus this mine, which would give you a total value of 1, which isn't right. So this can't be a mine. Now this is a 1, which is telling the truth, and 1 is just a 1 by 1. We've proven that in the very first product video. So 1 by 1 must just be 1 by 1. And this 2, well, it sees a lot of things that root 2 away, but it really doesn't matter. It sees a 1 away and then some root 2 away, where it can be wherever it is. Now this root 2 is telling the truth, and therefore, because it already sees something that 1 away, it can't see anything else that's 1 away. This 1 could be a liar, which could be a 2 actually. It could just be a 1, that's also valid, I guess. Is it this root 10? I don't think we've cleared out this root 10 yet. Now this root 10 we now know is not a 1 times root 10 clearly, because nothing 1 away actually is a mine. So it must be root 2 times root 5. And root 2 times root 5 means that it's root 2 away plus a knight's move away. So I guess because one of these are mines, they would have fulfilled the 10 anyway. Okay, fine. Maybe it's this 2 times root 5 thing? Well, there's something that's root 5 away. Yes, because this 2 is, we know it's a 2 times root 5. Root 5 is actually on the smaller end here. Wait. No, 2 is actually on the smaller end. Oh, well, yeah, it must be something that's 2 away. And the only one that's 2 away is this mine. So by coding, I think it just gives it to us, yeah. Alright, fair enough. So this root 2 means that this can't be a mine anymore. Therefore, this 2 must be something that's 2 away, which means it only can see this. This 2 is clearly a lie because it already sees 2 mines that are 1 away. So it's actually just a 1. So this 2 is in fact a lie. Meaning this 1 is a truth, and because it's a 1 that's telling the truth, it must be 2 things that are 1 away, which means these are both mines. How many mines left? Well, it's not really about that, it's about where the liar is. These are both liars because they're the only cells left in the row and the column. So if they're both liars, you get this and this. I guess by remaining mine count, there's 3 mines remaining and 3 cells left, so all of them are mines. We don't need to care about the fact that this is a liar. It is just gonna be a lie anyway. It's a 1 actually, yeah. So that's cool. Very cool. It's also giving you some very interesting numbers here. 2 of them actually. This is like the first time you're ever gonna see something this complex in a Minesweeper, this visually complex. It is not too difficult though once you get the hang of it. Besides larger numbers like root 10 and 2 root 5, the rest of the numbers are basically just regular patterns and such. Alright, let's keep going. Oh, 2e2x, we've done this before. Oh, I guess we're just cycling over now. That's okay. Alright, let's start with AD. Because A and D are constant values, A and D sum to the same value. So whatever value this is, say x, that's a very bad thing. So let's say y. This value AD also sums to y, meaning it's basically identical to saying there's a y here and a y here. And by regular Minesweeper pattern, whatever is here is seen by this cell, and therefore there can't be any mines here and here. AD again. Okay, well, I don't think y's are useful to us anymore. However, we do know that this and this does give us some information here. B must be greater than D, because this sums to AD, this sums to AB, which is greater than AD because, geez, hope I'm saying this right, AB sees whatever AD sees, plus at least something more. It must be more because A and B can't be equal to A and D, otherwise you have equal values. So it must be at least one more. Therefore, because A's are the constant, D and B must be ones that differ, and because B sees more, B is at least one more than D. This tells us that B is at least equal to 1 and D cannot be as high as A4. I guess because of this AD here, and there being only a maximum of 1 of each color, A and D can also be maximums of 1 only. So we can do that. That gives us a pair. So A and D are the values that are 0 and 1, meaning nothing else can be 0 and 1. Okay. So now EE. Well, E, yeah, this E here must be a 2. And the reason why is because it only sees a maximum of 2 light cells. So E can't be 3 or more, because you can't have 3 or more light cells here. So E mustn't be in fact a 2. And 2 here means there must be 2 light cells and 2 dark cells somewhere in here. Okay. Okay. I think, well, because B is at least a 3, what can we say about that? Then, yes, then at the very least, this value is at least 2 more than this value. Any other combination will give you a difference of 3. So what does that mean? B is 2 more than D at least? Let's say A was 1, I guess. Then D is 0. B really can only be 3 more because you can't put any more here. So if B will have to be at least at most 3 more than 0, B must be equal to 3. And that gives you mines here, here, and here. So that gives you what, 1, 3, which I guess by regular cross we can see that the 1 has to be the dark and the 3 has to be the light, which gives you this. Either gives you 1, 0, which is technically right because 1 here is referring to the light and 0 here is referring to the dark. So yeah, this is valid. If it were different though, if A were a 0, then D would have to be 1. I mean, I guess we already know these are 0, 1s, but can't really do anything about that. B could still be 2 or 3 or 4, I mean. Oh, but B can't be 4, clearly, because there is no way you can have 4 of any color in here. None of them are 4. So B can't be 4, which means C is 4, and B is 3. Alright, well I got 3A here, but we don't know which color 3 is referring to. It could be either light or dark. Although it can't be dark, because if it were dark, then for the AD clue over here, one of them will have to be 2, because there are already 2 dark mines. But we know A and D are, none of them are 2, and therefore it can't be 3 darks, it must be 3 lights. Okay, cool. 3 lights implies that A... Well, if A was 0, then I guess this works. Yeah, this works. If A were a 1, I mean, this A could be referring to this. D would have to be 0, and the way to do that would be to do something like this, which gives you that. I mean, sure. I think there's a common similarity where... I don't know, actually. If A was 0, then A has to be referring to the dark, which gives you this. But on the other hand, if A was a 1, then D is 0, so D is referring to the dark. Oh, I'm sorry, AD is just 0, 1, isn't it? It's 0, 1 of any value. It's either 0, 1 or 1, 0. And because that just sums up to 1, this is basically just a 1 clue, which means that neither of these are mines. Oh, that's way easier. Alright, well this is 0, 1, which means that this must be a mine. D here is referring to the dark cells, but we don't know what value it actually is. Okay. 2, 2 here. Well, the 2 already sees 2 light cells, so that's not a mine. And this 2, 2 is just complete because it's a 4. Now this 2, 2 is complete, so that isn't a mine, which means that A is actually 0, as you can see here. If A is 0, D must be 1. And now this 1, 2 means that this must be a mine. This 0, 2 means that it's already complete, so none of those are mines. This 2, 2 is complete. This 1, 3 should be complete. Yes, because it already sees 3 lights, so it can't see any more light, and therefore must see a dark. And therefore with 0 mines remaining, none of these are mines. Awesome, okay. Next up. Deviation liar. Okay, we've done this before as well. I think we're just cycling back. So this is clearly a liar. Because it can't be a 1, so it must be a 0. And this is therefore actually a 1 because it's telling the truth, so that must be a mine. This 1 could be a 2. This 3 could be like a 4. I mean, it could, and it could also be a 2. And this 1 could be a 1. Oh, this 3 is telling the truth though. Sorry. This 3 is telling the truth though, and it already sees 3 mines, 3 cells, so all of them are mines. This 1 is definitely a lie, therefore because it already sees 2 mines, so that's a lie. And therefore I can't see any more because the 1 can't lie into a 3. This 2 is telling the truth. Well, this 3 must be telling the truth, and it already sees 3 mines, so that's not a mine. 2 here is telling the truth, so there's 1 mine here. That does break the 4 because 4 can only see 3 mines in this case. Therefore 4 must be the liar. And because there's only 2 mines in here, it must see 1 more. Now this 3 is telling the truth, so there's exactly 1 mine in one of these cells. Ooh, and that breaks this 1. Because it already sees 1 mine here. Must see 1 more in one of these 2 cells. And therefore, would already see 2 mines. So none of these are mines firstly. But also with this must just be a liar. It must be a 2. And the final lie is this cell, which because it's a lie, we can actually show this to be an empty cell. It's a 4 that lies, and clearly must be a 3 because it can't be as high as a 5. This 1 already sees 2, so it must be done. This 2 can have a mine here, this 2 can have a mine. Oh no, this 2 is complete, sorry. And there are 2 mines remaining, so both of these are mines. Nice. Oh, we got more sets. Hey. I completed 10 levels in attachment. Yeah, we got attachment plus. Oh my goodness. Combine 2 random rules plus a side rule with a secondary board. That's really, really crazy. And we got hashtag. Clues may have different rules. The rule of each is I guess it's the identical to regular hashtag. I don't know why it's defined by hashtag 2 though. I'm assuming the very final one would be plus hashtag. Okay, that's fair. Let's keep going. We got 1 more puzzle to go, and I think we can call it a day then. Yeah. Okay. Let's begin. Modulo and liar. Well, we've seen how modulo and liar work, so let's hopefully be able to get back on track. If this 1 was a liar, it is either a 0 or a 2. Now both are valid, both are fine. But this 2 clearly cannot be a 2, because it can't see 2 mines or more that is a 2 mod 3 value. So it must just be a 1, which means firstly that must be a mine, and secondly that is a liar. Now this 2 is telling the truth, which means that besides seeing this 1 mine, it must see 1 more, so that's a mine. And now this 0 is telling the truth, must be a 3 because it already sees at least 1 mine. So it already sees 1 mine here, it must see 2 more mines to make 3, and so both of these are mines. Cool. Okay. This 2 is also telling the truth. Oh, we've already seen that one. This 2 is telling the truth as well, and therefore must be exactly a 2 because it can't be any other value. This one is definitely lying. It's in fact a 0 because from this you can see that it sees 3 different values. So 3 different mines. So it must be a 3 mod 3 or a 0 mod 3, and therefore it is a lie, and also seeing 0. This 2 is definitely telling the truth though, but it could be as high as a 5. Yes. Okay, well in this column the only place for a liar is here, so this must be a liar, which means this 1 is a liar. It's either a 0 or a 2, which we don't know yet. 0 would refer to the fact that all these are mines though, but I don't think that should be a problem there. I shouldn't. Okay. 5 mines remaining. We might have to use clue count soon. This one, if a liar, could be a 2 or a 3. If telling the truth, could be a 4. But it can't be telling the truth. The reason why is, if it was, because it already sees 2 mines around it, it must be a 4 and it can't be a 1. That also means that these are both mines to fulfill it, and therefore you can see here in column A there are no liars. And so what that means is that this 1 clue can't tell the truth, it must be a lie. And therefore the last lie on the board is here, which means that is also not a mine. This 1 can't be a 0 because it doesn't have enough space. It can't be a 1 either because it's a liar, so it must be a 2, which means that's a mine. This one, well, this one could be a 2 or 3, I don't think we know. There is one here. These could both be mines, or these could just have 1 mine in it. Does it really matter? Maybe. Maybe this 2 works better. Because if this 2 was a regular 2, it can't. This 2 can't be a regular 2. If it was, then none of these would be mines because 2 is already complete. But in that case, no matter how many mines you put in the outside cells, you would not have enough to fulfill the remaining mine count of 4. You only have 3 extra mines here. And so what that means is that this 2 cell can't just be a regular 2, it must be something higher. So it must be a 5, and it can't be an 8 because there's no space. So I guess these are all mines. Now this 1 means... No, yes, it could have 1 mine here. But we do know there's no mine there, so there you go. 0 is telling the truth, so that can't be a mine. And the last mine is just here. Great, okay, there you go. That ended off pretty interestingly. I thought it was smooth sailing for a bit, but after that, well, it just changed. But there you go, okay. Oh my goodness, wait, what? And apostrophe? What? Special combinations with and? I thought it already had... Oh, maybe it's L and E. Like, imagine L and E together. That's a thing. Okay. We just gotta... Oh, 10 times and 8 by 8 to unlock and apostrophe. Alright. Well, that's a lot to look forward to. I might just go do attachment on my own, and then we'll see how if we want to get to the 8 by 8s. Yeah, but until then, hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.